Hello and welcome down to North Berwick Pro Shop Golf Studio. Quite warm today because I've got the heater on. There's my PGA card just to prove who I am, Scott Young, and today for my Exp Demo Level 2 coaching qualification I'm going to be demonstrating and explaining the chip shot. We use the chip shot, obviously not indoors like I am today, but we use the chip shot around about the greens. It can be used on any golf course, heathland, links, parkland. Obviously links and heathland, when the conditions are maybe a bit firmer, you can use the chip shot from up to 50-60 yards away if the conditions allow. And obviously the chip shot's quite a low shot, so it's used when there's really no obstacles in the way, so no bunkers, walls, bits of rough to go over, trees, bushes, anything like that. You know, that's going to be a pit shot or a flop shot to get over. So chip shot is going to be used when there's a clear view to the landing spot or to the flag. Or for wherever we're trying to aim, trying to get the ball running for the majority of the shot. Now, you can use really any club that you fancy. You've got lob wedge all the way up to, I've seen people chip with 3 woods and hybrids when they're wanting to get the ball running a bit quicker. Obviously, the less loft you use, the shorter swing you're going to use because the ball's going to come off a bit quicker. So, same swing with a lob wedge versus a 7-iron is going to go a bit shorter with a lob wedge and longer with the 7-iron. But today I've got the 7-iron. It's a shot that we're aiming straight for our desired target or landing spot all the time. There's no real curvature to the shot. It's a quite short in to in swing pass, so there's no real curvature on it because it is such a short shot and the ball's not spending a lot of time in the air. And first of all, I'm going to talk about aim with our body and with our club face as well. So club face aim should be pretty much direct for the landing spot. And now the easy place you can look at that is if our target line is on my finger here, and then we're looking to get this leading edge at right angles to that landing spot or that target. This makes it, if the leading edge is there, it's easy to get that club. If it's lined up and that leading edge is at right angles there, it means we can get that club back to similar position at impact as well. And ball should be positioned in the middle of the club face, so aim for the middle with the ball. If I'll grab one of these and show the camera here, we're looking to be in the middle of the club face, up and down and left and right to get that centre of strike, that pure strike that we're looking for to shoot that ball off nice and low with my 7-iron here. And dynamic loft as well. Straight aim helps to create an appropriate dynamic loft, because if that club face is aligned right of target, it's adding loft on a lot of the time. If we're right of our target line and left, it's taking loft off. So dynamic loft is spot on for what we're looking for. It's really helped by that square club face and our target, if you like. So our hold as well is the next position now we're looking for. It's going to be quite a neutral grip. So my grip's a touch strong every now and then, but I'll try and show you. We've got our 2 knuckles showing when I look down, our 3 knuckles showing when I look down, and my right hand just on top of that, with my 2 V's pointing up to my shoulder and my chin here. Nice neutral grip means we can get that club face back to the position that it starts in, not really de-lofting or adding too much loft on at all with that hold. And our hold is down towards the bottom of the grip. This means we can limit club head speed for this short shot. Now I'm only playing a shot towards the net there, and it's only about 15 yards away. So if I put my target up out here in the net, then our aim is going to be pretty much directly for that. So if my target's in there, just at the right hand side of the net, my aim is going to be directly for that with our club face and our body as well. But our hold gripping down, that's gonna stop our levers getting in with gripping too far up the club. We don't really want our wrist to break too much, so we're trying to make that lever as short as possible. So if we do get a bit wristy, then we can prohibit the club head speed that can be put in there. So our next part to talk about is the ball position. Now this is going to be in the middle of our stance. This helps promote that in-to-in club path. And our ball position also affects our swing path. So if we go too far back, it's going to be in to out and pushing that ball to the right of the target. And if it's too far left, then it's going to be pulling. We're going to be possibly a wee bit out to in, and by the time we get there, that club face is going to be closed over and going left. The ball is, and likewise the face could be pushing right if it's too far back on our trail side, so possibly a wee bit more open when we get to that ball there. And with this ball being in the middle of our stance, it helps us with that centred strike as well. We're not getting too steep or too up on it, so up and down strike is really important, as well as left and right, or heel and toe, and chunk and thin strikes. It's just getting that middle strike is the important bit now. Our body alignment's also very important when we get to getting over the golf ball. If I put my ball just here, because we're gripping down the club, we are going to have to stand a little bit closer to the ball. So we're also looking at our ground up, so it's toes, knees, hips, shoulders, all aligned straight for my landing spot. Now my landing spot's going to be about 4 yards away. It's a low shot with a 7-iron, so we're just looking to play that nice and low. So it's not a big swing, but we're aiming straight for that, and that takes us on to our stance and posture as well. And if our stance and posture is fairly square, our body alignment is fairly square, then that if we're still on body alignment, if that body alignment is fairly square up to everything, our landing spot we're aiming for and our target, helps emphasise and create that in swing path we're looking for, to create that straight flighted shot, even though it's not in the air for too long. And now we'll get onto our stance and posture. So stance and posture, our weight distribution, it greatly affects our angle of attack, and which then greatly affects our dynamic loft. So if we're much on our left side, that's creating a steeper angle of attack and less loft. Likewise, if we're back on our trail side, then it's creating a shallower angle of attack and adding dynamic loft as we're going through. But when we're looking at the chip shot, it's looking like we're a little bit more on our left hand side, or our lead foot. I'll be leaning away from the camera there, which does take a little bit of loft off, a little bit steeper, but it helps to create that low running shot that we're looking for with a chip shot, and especially with our 7-iron, we're not wanting to scoop it at all. We're wanting to nice kind of slightly downward strike and get that ball running low and at the appropriate speed. We're not trying to carry it too far, really. So obviously with our weight distribution, that's on our left side. Because like I mentioned earlier, because we're gripping down the club, we're going to have to be a bit closer in with the chip shot. Our stance is a little bit closer. We're looking about shoulder width apart. That you can see there, we've maybe got a little bit of bend in the knees, and our arms are kind of hanging down just a wee touch, quite close to our body, to create that straight back and straight through, that in swing that we're looking for with this chip shot. It's not too dissimilar. It's the closest kind of swing or stance and posture we have to the putting stroke, but with other clubs in our hand here. So it's bend from the knees, kind of shoulder width apart, and arms hanging quite freely close to the body there to get that straight ball flight that's desired. Now go on to our swing shape as well. Greatly depends on what club we're using, but if it was a lob wedge for the same 15-yard shot, we'd maybe be swinging back to horizontal, or into this position and through to this position here. Whereas a 7-iron, we're going to be a little bit shorter, not quite reaching horizontal. Again, not quite reaching horizontal, but you notice there it's important that we go just as far back as we go through. So it's the same length of backswing and same length to follow through for the shot. That's where the speed comes from. It's not a jabby or driving motion or a punching motion. It's nice free flowing movement, and the speed comes from the length of the swing. Now when it's a chip shot with a more lofted club, we never really get past horizontal, otherwise that then maybe is going to add too much loft on and turn it into a pitch shot. But with chip shot, especially with the longer clubs, it's going to be quite a short swing, but the important thing to remember is the same distance back is the same way through. And with our stance and posture tied into that, with that kind of arms hanging quite loosely there, you can see I've got a real one lever swing there, and that helps us kind of create that pendulum motion that's the same length back as it is through, and helps us control the speed, really, because we're not adding in any extra bending or wrist cock or anything like that. We're keeping a one lever swing, so our arms and wrists are staying quite rigid and quite straight, and makes it easy to get the distance consistent between chip shots. Now, let me run you through it and we'll hit the shot here. So we've got our aim. We're going to be aiming straight for our target in the net there. We've got our pole up there in the net that I'm trying to chip towards, with my feet, my knees, my hips and my shoulders. My club face is going to be aligned hopefully at right angles to that target line. The ball in the middle of the face, quite close in because we are gripping down. Short swing, ball position in the middle, and then our swing shape nice and short. Let me see if I can hit that stick from here. I've caught that a wee bit heavy, so it's bounced off to the right there, but I obviously need to practice my fundamentals. But thank you for watching, and hopefully that's taught you through how we play the chip shot.